Hi peeps, it's Tess back on the old squat box once again. I know I've been away for quite a long time, you've not seen my face for a while, it's changed maybe for some people. Some people go, oh yeah, we expected him to be a little beardy, but not quite as beardy as he used to be. Okay, we've got all that. Let's do it. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot. I really have. I've been having really, really deep thoughts. Deep thoughts, you know what I mean? I mean, really, really deep. Not just deep, but super deep thoughts. Super deep thoughts. About consciousness and souls. Yeah. Got to get that in, yeah. Souls, we've all got them. Yeah. Apparently, some Christians think that the soul was based in the heart. The heart! Would you believe it? The bloody heart is the seat of the soul. But you all know that's not true because they don't mean heart as in the way I think of the heart. The big lump of muscle in your chest that pumps the blood around your body, They don't mean that heart. No whatsoever. Because we all know that if your soul was seated in that heart and you had a heart attack because you had what do you call it, a weak valve, they go in there and open your chest up, and then they go in and they cut, snip, that valve out, and then they replace it with either a pig heart, or they replace it with a steel, king, the steel heart, and so that would damage the heart, surely. If the heart, well, that would damage the heart, obviously damage the heart, but it would damage the soul. If the soul is connected to the heart, the real heart in your chest, the pump it, that would damage that soul, So, obviously the soul isn't seated in the muscle called the heart within your chest. And lots of people say this when I keep saying, well, it's obviously, when people say you've got heart, they don't mean, you've got a big heart. They don't mean the heart in your chest. They're all average size. Most people have the heart the same size, you know what I mean? Yeah, they don't mean that kind of heart. And many people, Christians especially, have said that's not the heart. And you know bloody well that that's not the heart we're talking about. It's some spiritual heart, but it's not a spiritual heart. It's not it's a psychological. What would you call it? The psychological idea, It's like, or not even a psychological idea. It might even be a literary idea of the heart. A person having more heart than others. No such thing. But you can have a big heart. You can have a lot of heart. You go into battle and he fought with a lot of heart, and you helped people and you had a great big heart, a huge encompassing heart to encompass those people and help those people. These are thoughts, these are ideas, these are expressions of literary, ideas or philosophical or emotional or psychological ideas. They don't mean a physical thing. So these ideas, they originate in the brain, don't they? They originate in the brain, in the brain. They originate in the brain. Yeah. So this is where these things originate. They originate in the brain. So let's look at this idea. The brain is the seat of the heart, which is the seat of the soul. So you have the brain, the heart, the soul. It's in there somewhere. In there somewhere. In there. It's in there. We can find it if we just dig deep. No, you can't find it if you dig deep. No, it's incorporeal. Incorporeal. It's not real. Well, it's real, but it's not visible. Not physical. You can't poke a prod it. I mean, you can cut my head open, you'll see my brain. Inside that brain is, the aforementioned, the heart they talk about, and inside the heart is the soul they talk about. They're all in there, but you can't poke them. You can't poke the heart, you can't poke the soul, you can poke the brain, but you can't poke the heart, you can't poke the brain. Yeah. So what does this say about people who get part of the brain removed? through a gunshot, through the eyeball, out the back of the brain, splat, and then they live, they survive. Part of their brain is taken away. Does that mean part of their soul and part of their heart was lost as well? Apparently not. Apparently your heart and your soul can remain intact even if you take your brain away. Well, part of it, because then you'd be dead and your soul would go to heaven. Whatever happens to the heart, nobody seems to know the answer to that. Maybe it was just an analogy for the soul in the first place and didn't exist. So this heart thing, let's just discard the heart. Throw the heart away. Heart doesn't exist. All we've got is the brain and the soul. Brain, soul, brain, soul, brain, soul. Yeah. No heart, brain, soul, brain, soul. Right? So we've got the brain and the soul. Destroying the brain does not destroy the soul. You can destroy lots of the brain. Oh, an amazing amount of the brain, but as long as you're alive and breathing, the soul remains here, attached to your human body. Yep, it doesn't go anywhere, not while you're alive. We could cut your brain up. We can stick and poke things in through your eyeballs, up your nose, and through your ears. We can take the skull off. We can cut around the top of your skull, take the brain off. You know, we can dig your brain, eat it, and leave it a little bit. And apparently, the soul shrinks away from that spoon as you eat the brain and hides in that tiny little brain particle that you left. You know, the soul stays there as long as you're alive. If you're still alive, the soul remains there until we eat that tiny little particle of brain, and then the soul it shoots off to heaven. You know, wherever that is. I don't know if there's a direction. It might be inwards, like a collapsing star. You know, it might be outwards in thousands or millions of directions all at the one time. Maybe it's like an expanding unit. Maybe the soul is like an expanding universe, and it's like inflation. Faster than the speed of light. The soul expands and becomes heaven or something. You know. It could be any one of these 100 million different directions it goes in, or all directions at once. Who knows what happens to the soul, but when your brain's finished and your body dies, the soul goes somewhere, you know. God, you can't prove any of that. You just got to believe it. You just got to have faith. Which is believing something without any evidence. Well, what about people who are still alive and have got like maybe a blast in their frame? I can't remember the name of it, right? Please don't make me twist my tongue around something I can't twist my tongue around, right? So blasphemobia, blast fucking thing, you know, brain cancer, right? that's much simpler. So you've got a brain cancer, bang, ain't your brain. You know, a big growing thing, pulsing, pulsing and putting tendrils out through your whole brain, getting bigger and bigger and bigger every day, bigger and bigger and bigger every week, you know. Your consciousness starts to change, you know, it starts to make you change, you know. You were a happy person, now you're a dirty person. You were a nice, you know, get on with every kind of person, now you're a horrible, evil person, like to stab people and eat their eyeballs, you know. That happens to people. Well, I'm not saying those specific things happen, but people's personalities change when they've got like one of these blasphema things in their brain growing, changing their brain. Yet, doesn't it change their soul? What would happen? Oh, here we go. What would happen if that growth in your brain turned you into an atheist? What if you became an atheist because that growth was growing in your brain? Would God still say to you, oh, well, no, you don't accept me anymore, you're damned to hell? Or would he realise that, you know what, this person accepted me, but because of the growth in his brain, which I put on the earth, you know what I mean? Because I made everything. And now it's eating his brain, or her brain, its brain, that brain, and now they become an atheist because of that thing I put on the earth to eat brains. God made that thing. That thing ate your brain. That thing changed your soul. That thing made you no longer believe in Jesus or God before you die. is God still going to send you to hell? I just wonder about these deeper than deep questions. God caused that thing to eat your brain. Knowing that if it eats your brain and you're an atheist, it doesn't matter. Unless you actually put it on the earth to eat atheist brains and turn them into Christians. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's a reverse thing, you know. You get this cancer, it eats your brain, and whatever way you think before it started eating your brain, by the time it's finished eating your brain, you've reversed your thoughts. So all atheists should get this blaspheming, tongue twister, this blast your blasty, blubby thing, eats your brain, and if you're an atheist, you start to believe in Jesus just before you die. Therefore, you don't go to hell, you go to heaven, and God is one. But, if you're a Bible-thumping creationist believer in God, and this thing starts eating your brain, by the time it actually eats all your brain and you die, you become an atheist. And God has to damn you to hell. So all those years of believing in Jesus count for naught, because when you died, you didn't believe in Jesus. Wouldn't that be a fucking turn up for the books? Because we do know that, brain cancers do change the brain. They change the way you think. You can think anything. You can think you're a pink fairy floating on a fucking butterfly, you know what I mean? Sailing off across the universe. You can think any bloody thing when something's in your brain and you're thinking crazy stuff. Personally, I just take mushrooms or acid to get that way. But at least then I don't die. I come down and I'm my normal. Well, okay, maybe I'm not normal, but I'm myself, right? What happens to people who have these brain tumours that eat their brain and turn them into horrible, changed, different people? And does that affect the soul? If the soul is part of the brain, brain, soul, heart, no soul, brain, maybe soul. When the brain gets changed, does the soul get changed? That would be the big deep question. Where is the seat of the soul? It appears to be seated in the place we think, the place we make up our ideas and believe stuff. That would be the brain. So if the brain gets changed, does the soul get changed? If you change before you die from being a believer to a non-believer because of a brain tumour that God invented or created or put on the earth, what's God's plan then for you? Why did you survive 65 years believing in Jesus and telling other people they've got to believe in Jesus, just at the end for your brain to get eaten by something God invented or made up or created, this brain plastic thing, eats your brain, and then you become an atheist and you renounce God just before you die? What would be the point of the whole 70 years you've spent doing good stuff and working for God, if you're going to go to hell just because you get ill in the last 2 months of your life? Or apparently they can treat you can last 18 months, but this kind of brain cancer, it's like you don't get over it. Without treatment, 2 months. With treatment, 18 months. That's it. Bang, you're dead. And over that period of time, it changes your brain. It changes your brain into being something else. Maybe it changes your soul as well. Who knows? I don't know about souls, but I'm sure there are lots of people out there who think they know about souls are going to be able to tell me in the comments what they think about souls and whether a brain being eaten by a cancer affects the soul and changes it. But it does change your brain, and you do sometimes change what you believed into other things you believe before you die. So 70 years of worshipping God and Jesus and converting other people's souls and bringing them to God, and then you get a brain tumour that eats your brain and makes you an atheist just before you die. Is God going to send you to hell because you no longer believe in Him in those last couple of months of your life? These are deep, serious questions that you as Christians need to answer. And you need to answer them by more than saying, well, God would do it. No, because it's not about that. It's not about your good, all the stuff. It's about what you think when you die. And if that tumour makes you think you're an atheist before you die, even though it's a tumour that's making it, does God pass judgment on you as if you were still a good person? Or does he trust that your last words, I don't believe in God, he never existed and I've been lied to all my life? No, would he believe that and judge you on that? What are the scales of judgment going to say? Because everything I hear on the internet means, well, you rejected God, you go to hell. And it doesn't matter whether you were ill and sad and you lost a loved one or your brain was eaten by a tumour, God is going to cast you down because you rejected him and you're a sinner. Even though you're rejecting him because of something that he created to put inside your brain. So God knew that this was going to happen to you, and he let you live your whole life working for him to save other souls, knowing that your soul was always damned. How do you feel about that? Tell you what I feel about it. I need another fucking drink. I can't be dealing with that fucking shit. I need another fucking drink. I need another handful of mushrooms. That's what I fucking need. Squad, you fucking van, motherfuckers.